So this video is going to be another Clone Wars comparison video, this time of Aventus. I had done several Aventus Clone Wars videos in the past, mainly of a bunch of the more, I guess, well-known designer kind of brands, like Armoff and El Harmain, those sort of clones. I had done a few others as well, but it was mainly comparing the kind of more mainstream clones, Pure Insurrection 2, Mont Blanc Explorer. There's a ton of them. So this one I wanted to really focus on kind of, my opinion, generally the better clones, or what at least are perceived generally by the community, I think, for the most part, to be better clones. And that is clones from houses that tend to be higher quality than Armoff and El Harmain and Mont Blanc. And these are clone houses such as Dua, Alexandria, Central Obsessions, Montagne, or Montagne, I don't even know how you pronounce it, Montagne. Those sort of houses. So I want to give you my thoughts on it. There had been recently a bunch of new Aventus clones. So Aventus had died off, not died off, it never really died off, but the hype had kind of died down, and nobody's really talking about it. And then more recently, all of a sudden, all these clone houses started pumping out, new clones of Aventus, all at the same time. Well, some of them at least. Some of them had been around for a while now. But anyway, Dua has been doing a ton of different ones. Mod Elixir, they got Mod Elixir 2 coming out. They've kind of reamped everything on their end as far as that goes. Central Obsessions came out with King of Kings, which is a new one from them. Dapper had come out with 13ZZ, and they're coming out with another 10th anniversary, which Dua did as well. Gen X is what Dua's was called. And Dapper's coming out with now, I think, several more Aventus clones. Anyway, clearly it has been, for whatever reason, all these houses are now dropping new ones, and kind of the hype is back. Not that it was ever really fully gone, but Aventus is being talked about a lot more than it had been recently, at least. So I'm going to be reviewing several different offerings. First of these is, again, I think it's Montagne. I don't even know how to pronounce this. I really don't. I always called it Montage, but I know it's wrong. And this is their Pineapple Royale. Alexandria's Brasilia Prive. Now, Brasilia Prive is supposed to be a clone of the 11Z batches. So, whatever that's worth, Dua's Mod 3. Now, most people you talk to in the Dua community, this tends to be the favorite of the, Dua's interpretations of Aventus, with one potential exception. The exception is Mod Elixir. This one has been hyped to no end. People are selling bottles of this, and again, it's hype based on it being discontinued. Some people were selling bottles of this for more than twice of what the real Creative Aventus cost. Absolutely insane. People are spending that on this just because it has hyped through the roof. It was $160 plus, they always have 30% discount on the Dua site generally. On the weekends, around that, 25, 30, whatever. Brings it down to about $112, depending on what the discount is, shipped. People were selling it for like $450. Crazy. It was even crazier, some people were paying that. So, those are the Duas. Those are the two most popular Dua. Gen X has been kind of hit or miss. I've never personally smelled it, but that's their 10th anniversary interpretation. It seems like people either really like it or they're getting rid of it. Whereas Mata was much more well received all around, and same with Mod 3. The last one is King of Kings. This is Central Obsession's newest clone of Aventus. This one is supposed to be very pineapple heavy, very kind of prominent. Similar to, I guess, Dua's, Poseidon's Elixir 2.0 was also supposed to be more pineapple heavy, more of a fruity batch kind of Aventus. So, anyway, I've worn all of these. I have worn Pineapple Royale the least because it is the newest for me. So I will speak to them. I will also spray them, kind of give my initial, at least first impressions on paper. Now I will say this is kind of the problem. Through having these and having worn these, sometimes on the paper, as we all know, it can smell a lot different than when you actually wear it on your skin. Sometimes it's better on the paper, sometimes it's worse. You don't really know what it smells like until you actually wear it. Obviously, I'm not going to wear 5 versions of Aventus right now, so it's going to be on the paper. But I can't speak to, my thoughts on having worn these. So the first is Alexandria's Brasilia Prive. Again, this is supposed to be a clone of 11Z. Atomizer on this one really sucks. I don't know why. Usually Alexandria is good. So this is, I do think, Alexandria talks about this being like a well-balanced batch, and I really do think you get that. You definitely get the birch, you get the smoke. It's fruity, but not as fruity as several of these other offerings. It's more kind of smoky, which I know 11Z tends to be known for, especially compared to like the 13Z, ZZ batches. It's definitely more smoky, so you gotta like that. I personally do. I know some people don't. This smells pretty good. Like I said, it's just if you're looking for a pineapple heavy batch, a fruity batch, this is not it. Brasilia Prive is not it. Now, Alexandria does have their normal Brasilia. They have their Brasilia Smoky, which is even smokier than this. Again, this is kind of supposed to be like a well-rounded batch, not too super smoky, not super fruity, kind of in between. But the 11Z is kind of more smoky in general. But they have a smoky batch, which is supposed to be very smoky. And they also have a Brasilia, which is normal kind of Brasilia batch, supposed to be kind of more of a fruity batch. And then they also have the Brasilia Cologne. So they have a lot of offerings. I've only smelled the Prive, so I can only speak to the Prive. I like it. I really do. I think Alexandria did a great job on it. It smells very good. Like I said, it smells more smoky to me than than fruity, but it smells good. Performance is good too. It's not crazy. Okay, I'll say that. I get about 6 hours out of it. If you spray heavy, you can get longer. It is not nuclear. It is not some beast mode, performer. Projection is pretty decent as well, but again, performance could be better when we're looking at some of these other clones. Okay, the next one again is from Montagne or Montage or however you pronounce it. There's Pineapple Royale. Atomizer's great on that. On the paper, see, this sucks on the paper, and this is the problem. I wore this yesterday, and I really do like it. I really do. It just, on the paper, it smells flat. It doesn't really smell like a whole lot. I'll spray my wrist here. Very alcohol heavy in the beginning. It's kind of weird because I usually don't get that from that company. You certainly don't get it from Alexandria. I generally don't get it from Dewey either. But I'm really getting it for some reason now. But as it dries down, it starts to sort of resemble the similar to the Alexandria's Brasilia Prive, but it's not as smoky. Doesn't have that kind of like earthy, oak mossy kind of dry down. And it is slightly more fruity. It has a sweetness to it too, almost like a sweet pineapple. You get the pineapple though, and you have so it's sweeter than the Alexandria Prive. Pineapple's definitely more obvious, more prominent. It's not quite as smoky as Prive as well. It smells really good. If you are like fruity fragrances or fruity batches of Aventus, that's pretty good. It's good, well balanced, kind of all around batch. I think they did a good job on it. Performance is similar to Prive. The Alexandria, I get about 6 hours out of it. It's not crazy. Projection's a little better, I think, than the Prive. But yeah, it's good. It smells sweet. You get that sweet pineapple, and you get some of the smoke. Again, performance isn't fantastic, but it's decent. Next one is Mod 3. Again, this is one of the more well received clones of Aventus from Dua. Again, it sucks on the paper, and I was trying to avoid spraying myself with all of these, but I might have to. Now, when the opening on these, and I've noticed the opening on all of the Duas, in my opinion, isn't the best. It smells kind of almost sour. There's like this sour, kind of tarty smell. You get some of the pineapple. It's not great. And I know based on experience, this gets a lot better. So right now, I'm not impressed. And just first impressions, not really first impressions, but opening, speaking to you, I get a sourness that I'm not big on. You get the pineapple. It is fruity. It's not quite as fruity as a 2.0, but it is fruity. But it's almost sour. And to me, it's like a sour green apple kind of with the pineapple in there. And it's kind of weird smelling at first. Now, when it dries down, it does become very good. I do really enjoy Mod 3. And we're not smelling it up close like this, but when it dries down, it does develop into something really good, up close or not. I don't really care for it, though, in the opening. Mod Elixir. Again, I just got a little sample of this. I don't have a whole full bottle. I wasn't going to pay $450 for it. So Mod Elixir is supposed to be just that. It's a mod. It's from the Moda groups, people who mix different batches together, make Franken batches or whatever. They try to like make a really good batch by taking certain years and certain portions and mixing them together. Mod Elixir was that kind of concept. It was trying to make a very particular kind of best of everything batch. Opening, much better than Mod 3. You don't have that sourness. But, yeah. You don't have the sourness. Sorry, I was smelling the Montagne. But you don't have the sourness. It's not as bright. It's not as really anything in the opening. You smell the sweetness. It doesn't quite smell like pineapple. It's fruity. It is kind of pineapple-y, but not as much. But it doesn't have that weird, again, that off-putting opening from Mod 3 that I get. Now, Moda is good. It is very good. I probably prefer it slightly to Mod 3. Definitely prefer the opening. Talking about the dry down, though, I probably prefer it slightly. Is it worth the money? Absolutely not. I mean, it's worth the normal money. The $112 for 100 ml. I think that's reasonable. It is not worth $450, $200, $300, nowhere close to that. But it does smell really good. I will say though, and maybe this was kind of because it's mixed batches, it smells the least like Aventus to me. It smells good, at least up close. And since this is a sample, I have worn it, but I haven't been able to go crazy with it or anything like that. So I can't give a whole lot of feedback, but up close it smells sweet. It smells kind of leathery. There's a little smoke in there. You get kind of the earthiness, the birch and everything, but it's not. It just doesn't smell as much like Aventus. I know it's weird. It smells great though. I'm not saying it doesn't smell good. It smells good, but it smells probably at least like any of the Aventus batches that I've smelled. Let's say that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I've smelled all the batches. I don't know what's 2 batches these were supposed to be that were mixed together, or more batches. So I can't really comment too much to that. But on that, I will say Mod Elixir 2 that's coming out, I'm certainly interested in it. It's their next kind of big hype thing. It's supposed to be releasing in Easter. It has some very interesting notes in it, though, that I think we'll see how it smells. Saffron's in the opening. It seems it's very floral dominant. Bunch of other notes that weren't normally in Aventus. To me, it seems more or less like a Moda as far as mixing different batches together, and more like a new fragrance all around with some of the core components of Aventus in there still in the notes, but it's a lot of additional notes. I'm not a huge fan of florals. I don't know if I'm going to really enjoy it. We'll see. I think there might even be caramel in there. I could be getting it mixed up with something else. I just know they added a bunch of stuff in there. As Moda dries down, though, you get that sweetness, you get the pineapple. It smells really good. It really does. Now, Moda 3 up close on the skin almost has this, in the dry down, and some people might not like that I said this, but it almost has like a wet dog smell to it. So obviously it doesn't sound good, right? But in the sillage, it does smell really good. My girlfriend loves it. I love it. So Mod 3 is good. Don't get me wrong. Just up close, it has this off-putting smell to it, even in the dry down. But you don't get it in the sillage. And Mata smells really good up close. So does the Montagne. They all smell good up close. And the Alexandria. This gets really smoky, but it also has this like different depth, and the leather is more prominent than it is in these other ones. I think that is, to me, the biggest difference about Prive, is the leather is definitely more dominant than it is in all the other clones that I've smelled. But it's good. I enjoy it a lot because of that. So the last one, Essential Obsessions. This one has been very hyped. It's King of Kings. And I've had a good opportunity to wear this as well. So this one has the best opening out of all of these. Hands down, in my opinion. The pineapple smells very real, smells very juicy. It almost smells like you've literally have bitten into a fresh pineapple or opened a can of pineapple juice. It is very fresh, very pineapple forward, very fruity. You don't get a lot of the smoke. And that this particular clone is unique in the sense that that juicy pineapple that you get in a lot of these Aventuses, and in real Aventus as well, it usually fades after the opening, stays throughout, very linear throughout. This fragrance in general, the Sensual Obsessions version, is very linear, but it's good, and I like it because of that. The opening smells so good, and it carries throughout. You get that fresh, juicy pineapple all the way through it. All the way through it. And man, in the heat, this is going to kill. But you got to like fruity batches. If you don't like fruity batches, you're not going to really care. You're obviously not going to like this because it's very heavy in the fruit, very heavy in the pineapple. But God, man, it smells good. If I were to rank these, money aside, my favorite would be this. King of Kings, 100%. I will say King of Kings does not perform as well as the Dua version, in my opinion. It's in line with Alexandria and the Montagne. You get about 6 hours, which is great. Gets you through a work day, and this is on my skin. But it smells the best. And to me, that is worth it. To me, this smells the best. Again, does it? Now, I'm used to that pineapple kind of fading, so I guess you could say in a way, since it does stay around, that, you know, I don't know, maybe it's not similar to other batches of Aventus or as good of a clone because of that, but I like that. I think it smells great because of that. I think that was their intention with it. Pineapple's there to stay, and it smells great. I think Sensual Obsessions is for sure my favorite. Now, from there, where do we go? I don't know. Like I said, this smells horrible up close. Opening's got the sour tartness to it. Dry down smells kind of like wet dog up close. I know I'm really selling it. But the sillage does smell very good. Okay? I almost got rid of this. Sprayed it on paper. I was like, nah, it wasn't doing it for me. When I wore it, it smelled good. So it will be hanging around. This smells like a well-rounded batch. Nothing super exciting about it at all. Pineapple Royale. It's not mind-blowing. It's not bad. It's a good clone. Great. It's cheap too, 50 mil. You get a pretty good sized bottle. Their prices are decent. I think it's $35 or something. But it's nothing mind-blowing, okay? Brasilia Prive. If you like the darker batches of Aventus, if you like the leather note to be more prominent, not quite as fruity, this is great. Good pickup, okay? Prive smells good, but the leather you can smell the leather. Mod Elixir, I mean, at this point, either you have it or you don't. If you can find someone selling it for the price that it was originally, it's a good price. It's a good pickup. It smells good. Yeah, Mod smells good. It really does. But, man, Essential Obsessions, even on the opening or on the paper, you're getting that pineapple. Juicy pineapple. I highly recommend, say you got any of these, I highly recommend if you are into the fruity batches, at least get a sample of Essential Obsessions, okay? It is currently my favorite of all the Aventus clones, hands down. Duos performs better. But you still get good performance out of it. I get about 6 hours out of it, and that's enough for me. Um, So anyway, that's my thoughts. None of these are knocking, completely blowing the others out of the water as far as smell goes. I think my favorite, trying to rank these, this is definitely my favorite. Okay, King of Kings. Then these two, well, no, I take that back. Mata is probably second. Then these two. I don't know which one I choose over the other, to be honest with you. They both smell good. They're different in their own ways. Prive definitely smells better up close on the skin. More leather heavy, I do like that. I think I don't know, it smells good. But this performs better, and the sillage is really good on it, okay? This is probably my least favorite. And I only say that because it's good for the value, for what you pay. It's just nothing particularly overly exciting about it. It's a good clone of Aventus. It's that. This, though, you get killer performance. This, you get that really nice leather note that really smells great to me, and it smells like a darker batch of Aventus, which I do enjoy. This, you get that amazing juicy pineapple from start to finish. Very fruity, and this is going to be not like Sea Drop Boise, where it's at fruity pebbles. This is pineapple. It smells great. I know that it's got pineapple in it, but to me that smells like fruity pebbles. I do like it, but it smells more feminine to me than Aventus does. And Mod Elixir, this smells good. Like I said, if they came back out with it, I'd say pick this up. Is it worth it for the money? No. It's worth it, again, for the normal money, absolutely. It's not worth $400. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you all. I do think King of Kings is the king. But the rest of these are great, and they all do their own thing. Maybe it's dumb of me to have all of these. I don't even think I'll get rid of them. Montagne, again, it smells great all around. It really does. It's not as good, in my opinion, as the other ones because there's just nothing particularly exciting about it. Okay, so anyway, this is going on long enough. I will pick up a sample at least of Mata 2 if I don't buy a bottle of it. I just bite the bullet and buy a bottle of it. I definitely want to get a sample of Gen X, and I'll do another video of this. I would say I'd get samples of Dappers. They have the Gen X, they have their 13ZZ, and they have a new one coming out today, which was just announced. Problem is, their samples are outrageous, and I'm not paying $12 or $15, I think it's $15 for a sample of a little 5 mil with a broken atomizer half the time. So, if Dapper ever comes to a reasonable, conclusion that offering samples that are astronomically, overpriced is a bad idea, and they offered reasonable sample prices, I would buy those. I would love to test them, but I'm not going to blind buy 30 mils from them anymore when the 30 mils are like $40. It's just not going to happen. I noticed too, their free shipping used to be, I believe, over 50 or 40. Now it's like 70, I think. So, so it's just Dapper is not going to be something I'm picking up anymore. It's not a knock on the quality or anything like that. It's not really on the business model. I don't want to talk too much about it. I don't want to, upset some of you who are fans of Dapper. Again, the companies is what it is. I just think it's outrageous that their samples are so expensive. Alexandria gives you free samples. Whenever you order, if you request them, they'll give you free samples. Give you as many as you want half the time. Dua doesn't offer free samples, but they do offer free shipping. And they offer, through a third party who works with them and for them, Phenom Parfums, they offer samples on there, which are pretty reasonably priced. And Sensual Obsessions has their sample sets that are also reasonably priced. And, this company, you're paying $35 for 50 mil. I would blind buy that. So, it is what it is. But I will not be buying them. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to review those for you. But it is what it is. Anyway, hopefully, this helped you. Some of you considering it. Again, these are all good in their own ways. It really depends on what you're looking for from your Aventus clone.